All right, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of our local to global run as TNA Wrestling. And we, at the end of the last video, brought back the weekly event, which is at, I believe, God, it's all in Roman numerals. I need to maybe change that. Now, let's just go numbered. 82 is the next one. So, with that being said, we're reviving this. And the hope is that we are going to have that run like a lesser show just to get some people on the card that don't normally get on the card. I'm sure that's going to probably dip into our finances, but on the other hand, what the goal of that is going to try and do is it's probably not going to pop very many of these, but if it pops some of these, this is where the real money could be made. Uh, I don't know how it is for many of the other places, but I'm hoping it's kind of like in the United States. Like, we were able to get DirecTV because we hit a very easy to hit threshold. That probably was not designed for that. Uh, and I'm hoping if we were to get to like 15, 20, 25 in some of these places, we could maybe get some more spots to run. I don't know if that's going to work out the way that I plan. We'll just have to see. But we do have a show right away. We're going to kick it off with a show. Uh, uh, what am I looking for? Merchandise. 44% of the way there. Seen as number 3. We found that out at the end of the last video. This is going to take another 56% to meet that threshold, which is 28 weeks. It's about 7 more months. So this is a thing for next year. When it's done, though, it will increase our per fan ratio per fan in attendance by $2.50. It will give us $20 per popularity point. This will be very good, which means The Rock will make us more money. That's essentially the point. As long as The Rock stays. And he'll only stay if we make him happy. And he's already happy, but I don't want him to leave. A lot going into that. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Maven is pissed. El Generico is pissed. Yeah, he's mad because he's not getting used. What's El Generico getting pissed about? He's getting pissed because he's... Oh, yeah, he came up and said, I want to leave, and I told him no. So, we'll see how that goes. He might... Because keep in mind, everybody I have on my roster now is on a written, ironclad contract. They cannot leave unless I let them leave. And the hope is that that doesn't cause much problems. With that said, what I'm going to do now is... I suppose we could just hop right into it. We should expect about 654 fans. The booking team meeting, nothing to look at there. Cassidy O'Reilly wants to be backstage, sure. Nigel McGuinness and John Moxley got into a row. There's some heat between Hart and McFoley. But Foley and Moxley got along pretty well. Simon Diamond does his thing like he always does. And that'll take us right into the show. Nothing big happening. Alright, now I'm going to pause the show and I'll meet you when I'm finished booking. Alright, here we are. TNA Explosion number 29, held in front of 659 people in the Southeast. We have Dwayne Johnson come out and he makes a championship match. You see, Jason Cross beat Batista a while back, and as a result, Batista had his rematch clause, which he ended up winning the title back. But that also means Cross has his rematch. Well, that means he's going to have it at some point, and I'd rather not have it at the pay-per-view, says Dwayne. So we're going to have it tonight, giving no prep time to Jason Cross, or very little prep time. Except Samoa Joe comes out and he wants a shot at CM Punk. He wants a shot at the world title. And Dwayne goes, X Division. So now it's a triple threat match. We then follow it up with a tag team match. AJ Styles and CM Punk taking on Monty Brown and Simon Diamond. And AJ Styles pins Monty Brown with a spiral tap, winning the match with a 68 segment rating. That's pretty good. I'm worried I kind of popped a little too early with that match, but we'll see how the main event does. Following this, Cena and not Cena, Styles and Punk are in the ring, and they're high fiving, they're doing good. They're respectful allies, I guess is the best way to put it at this point. Cena comes down, or at least they start talking about Cena, and then Cena comes down to like defend himself. I'm not siding with The Rock. I don't know what you're talking about. All I was doing was trying to get away from The Rock. Yes, I got into a limo with The Rock. Why? Because he wanted to negotiate the contract, my new contract that's coming up. At which point they're like, when you talk to Jeff about that? And he was like, yes. But Jeff wasn't here last week, or at the pay-per-view, or whenever the match was. Cena's missing up on these key details, which is making people kind of like, Michael Shane versus Russ Haas. Michael Shane wins after Charlie Haas comes in and trips up his brother. Following that, Charlie Haas comes in and tries to fight them. They end up getting into a brawl, and they get separated by security. We then followed up with this new guy, totally new guy we've never seen before. He has totally never been on this show. He just so happens to do a shooting star press. And he hits it on Maven to win the match after about 14 and a half minutes. 54 segment rating. It's a shame Brock Lesnar isn't here to see this. He and this guy would have had a good match. We then followed up. Okay, this is a good match. It's not as good as the opener, but this is alright. Batista versus Jason Cross versus Samoa Joe for the X Division title. Batista beats Jason Cross with a sit-out powerbomb and defends the title. 62. Alright, yeah, we take that. Fiscal report, $4,400 in the hole. And Puerto Rico joins the Yellow Club. It's finally up there. It's no longer in the red. Now we just gotta get Hawaii up there. And everything will be up out of the red. That'll be pretty damn good. Tatanka. I have... Oh? Could I? Oh. Oh, no, I couldn't. Oh, I can't do that. Or can I? You can see this, right? Yes, you can. You're gonna see my horrible decision here. Only on events with a 30% bonus. All right, you're running it up on me. You're just covered with 70% merchandise. I don't even know. 30? Let's go 30. For 2 years? No. Alright, I'm gonna see if I regret that decision. OVW production change. They lowered their stuff. They couldn't handle the Neutron style, so they lowered everything, I think, just about. Gorilla. Oh god, no. Keep Tyus away from me. Or Tyrus, whatever the hell his name is. Oh my god, it's the Big Valboski. Yeah, good. He's not willing to negotiate. Cool. I won't be... Oh. That's an 84 popularity, though. That would have been actually kind of nice. Extension. Anything here that I'm actually interested in grabbing? Aside from Jim Ross? Jim Cornette getting in an argument with somebody. Who could have foreseen? Alright. Number 29. 143,000 people. That's pretty good. I am going to go ahead. I'm going to skip to TNA Explosion number 30. and start booking from there. When we get done with that, I'll show what happened on weekly event number 82. Because ultimately what happens on that does not matter. But I'll show it anyway, just so that way it's on the record. So I will see you in just a little bit. Alright, here we are. TNA Explosion number 30, the big 3-0, being held in front of 681 people in the Southeast. We start off the night, but this is before the cameras started rolling for TV, so there's only bits and pieces of it. The full video, of course, for the match is going to be put online to be watched by a lot of people, because this is a really good match, all things considered. Tiger Mask takes on Steve Corino in the first part of the First Contender World Heavyweight Championship tournament that will be announced in a minute. Tiger Mask beats Steve Corino after Chris Hero comes in and helps cost Corino the match. A 62 segment rating. If I had known that that was going to be as good of a match as it was, I probably would have put it on the main show. I'm not going to lie. This match did better than I was expecting. Tomko versus Hayabusa, again, part of the number 1 contenders tournament, although people don't know it at the time. Hayabusa beats Tomko with the Falcon Arrow, a 59 segment rating. We then start off. Dwayne Johnson comes out and he announces the tournament. The people involved in the tournament are Lance Cade, John Cena, Tomko Hayabusa, AJ Styles, Maven, Michael Shane, Mitsuharu Misawa, Jason Cross, Charlie Haas, Tiger Mask, Steve Corino, Chris Hero, and Russ Haas, with 2 people special, 2 secret people involved. We followed this up with Chris Hero versus Russ Haas. What ends up happening in this match is Chris Hero beats Russ Haas. Although there were 2 run-ins. At first, Corino ran in, attacked Russ Haas, or attacked Chris Hero. Chris Hero, it looks like he's going to lose. Charlie Haas comes in, forearms Chris Hero, and Russ Haas, and Chris Hero hits Russ Haas with a rolling cutter for the win. A segment rating of 58. That was a much better segment than I thought it was going to be. Charlie Haas is there. He starts beating on Russ Haas, and then out comes the debuting Bob Holly, and he comes in and kicks the hell out of Charlie Haas in a very short match. So now both Haas brothers are out of the running entirely. Segment rating of 50. Bob Holly advances in the tournament. We then move on to CM Punk. Comes out, and he's like, hey, I'm all for this tournament. Yeah, let all my competition beat each other down, and I'll be sitting pretty. In fact, he actually sits down and watches the rest of the show from the commentary desk. He's not on commentary, but he's there. We then have Jason Cross taking on the debuting Shawn Stasiak. Shawn Stasiak beats him. A 49 segment rating. Then AJ Styles comes out, cuts a promo about his chance to get the title back. Has a match against Maven and loses. One of the rare times Styles actually just straight up loses a match. Maven beats him and advances into the title tournament, or the number 1 contendership tournament. Styles has been eliminated. What will he do is the big question. We then followed up with Michael Shane versus Mitsuharu Misawa. Mitsuharu Misawa beats Michael Shane with a Tiger Driver after just over 10 minutes. 53 segment rating. We then have the main event of the evening. Lance Cade versus John Cena. Cena comes out, cuts a promo, and beats Lance Cade in a pretty damn good match. 61 segment rating. A 66! Okay. Yeah, we take that. Hell yeah. Oh, that cost us a lot of money, though. Popularity recap. Southeast went up by 1, New England went up by 1, and Tri-State went up by 1. Now, if you notice, the numbers for this show, the ending numbers, don't match the numbers from the previous show. And I'll explain why here in a minute. We gained 1 point in, I believe, 3 areas. And I'll explain that here in just a second. No, Mark Briscoe, you're not coming up. 147,000 people, almost 148. We take those. So, We had the first show, weekly event show. It didn't give us a thing for Sean Stasiak because he actually debuted on the YouTube show. Should have thought of that beforehand, but meh. But what happened is this show rating was pretty good. Had 857 people there. Why? I don't know. I'll be 100% honest. I've got no clue. Uh, in fact, there were more people that went to the weekly event than went to this event. But I digress. But what ended up happening as a result of this is we went up 3 popularity points in America, which I believe it's Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South, and I think, God, what did we start off with? I got to look at these numbers. 24. I think it's Tri-State, Southwest, and Tri-State, I believe, or maybe Southwest just went, but it was one of these two. So we got 3 bips, and not only that. Something that is so astounding, I'm actually gonna throw the picture up here and hope it doesn't like break the recording. Where is my downloads? There it is. Yeah, here is the breakdown, if I could make it bigger, from that show. We made money. I don't know how, but we made money on that show. It wasn't much. It was $757. We made a ton of money. A ton of money on ticket sales. Because it's an event, so it's going off of event prices, which are significantly higher than the TV events. So now I have mixed feelings about this because it wasn't designed for that. But it wasn't meant to be another avenue to make money. That wasn't the point. The point was to put people on TV and try to get popularity points in other areas while running the risk of potentially losing money. And the thing about that is, let me get rid of this and so I can pontificate a little bit more. The thing about that is, like, yeah, we're about $27,000 in the hole, mainly because of the B show. So yeah, we are spending more money. Like, that is 100% happening. On the other side of that, though, I am concerned because the fact that it's making money makes me want to showcase it, but that would cause it to be a lot more strenuous for me. It would double the length of the average episode, which already fluctuates from anywhere between like 20 minutes on the very, very low end to, you know, it didn't come out as like 53 minutes on the one 40 41, one of those two. I can't remember which one it was, the 53-minute one. And by the way, that one was like 2 hours before I edited the thing because there was a lot on that. I'm of mixed opinion on this, so I'm gonna keep doing it for this month, and maybe in another couple months we'll see, and then I'll see what people have to say about it. So that's where it's gonna go, and I'll keep updating you on how things go regarding that. That having been said, The Rock has sold $60,000 worth of merchandise in 9 days. In 8 days. In 8 days. That's amazing. And we're 46. We have, I believe, 2 more shows. The weekly event and then the TV show. To get that up to 47. If we get up to 47, we get another $1. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pause the recording. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of TNA Explosion number 31. Alright, here we are, TNA Explosion number 31, held in front of 687 people in the Southeast. We begin in pre-show competition between Maven and Mitsuharu Misawa. During the match, Hayabusa, who is not here today, he had prior engagements, but we didn't tell the crowd that. A Someone who looked like Hayabusa came out, cost Mitsuharu Misawa the win, or distracted him enough that Maven was able to hit him with a missile dropkick and get the victory, and moves on to the final four. Segment rating of 51. We then follow that up with Tiger Mask versus Chris Hero. On commentary for this one, Steve Corino comes out at the beginning, joins the commentary booth during the match, and ends up costing Chris Hero the victory. Still a 57, despite not having a good segment rating, or despite not having good chemistry. I just realized something. Hold on. I'm kind of giving away the whole match, but I realized. After Steve Corino abuses his authority on that, instead out comes Mick Foley to provide some commentary. So, with that, we pop back in. First actual televised match is Bob Holly versus Sean Stasiak, and Bob Holly wins at 47. That's fine. Now you might be wondering, wow, 68? Jesus. You might be wondering, why is Jeff Jarrett in the tournament? That's because Hayabusa was not here. Storyline-wise, is after costing Mitsuharu Misawa the match, Misawa chased him down and Hayabusa left. However, when it came time for his match, he's not here. So originally, Dwayne's going to give it to Cena, by forfeit. Jeff Jarrett comes out and starts wrestling in jeans and ends up getting beat by Cena at 68. We then followed up with a backstage promo between Styles and CM Punk, talking about the tournament, talking about Cena and The Rock and whatnot. We then followed up with Bob Holly versus Tiger Mask. This is part of the Final Four. Bob Holly beats Tiger Mask, a 70 wrestling rating and a 52 segment rating. There's something not being correlated here, because those were definitely better than that, but I digress. I didn't even take a look and see what happened there. I clicked once, it didn't work. John Cena took on Maven, and Cena won. Following the match, Holly came down, started attacking Cena in time for their match. Jesus Christ, that's a 49. But we ended it off with a stare down between champion and challenger, 86. It worked, 55. Fiscal report, oh, damn. I was hoping we'd get the 1 in Southeast. That's fair. So, we did gain 3 more popularity from the other show. It was in Great Lakes, Midwest. I think Puerto Rico? I could be wrong. Scott D'Amore moved down here. Kenny Omega moved up there. OVW is continuing to scale back their stuff. 145,000 people tuned in, and now it is time for the Slammiversary match. I'm going to go ahead. Actually, we'll take a look. I think it was Puerto Rico. No, Puerto Rico was already there. There was another one that changed. I don't know which one it was. It's definitely not Hawaii, because I have nothing in Hawaii. And so far, nothing else has changed. I haven't gained anything anywhere else. So far, that experiment hasn't been a success, but we'll just continue to watch and see. Financially, that is hemorrhaging some of my money. But we are making a lot more ticket sales and a lot more merchandise. So we're just going to have to we're going to have to keep watching that and see how it goes. Currently, it does not appear to be anything particularly great. Now, something I feel I need to show you again is the second show we did. We made even more money than the first one. We made $2,500 off of this show. And here's what the card was for weekly event number 83. Jason Cross beat Matt Morgan. Steve Corino beat Hayabusa. Pretty good match, all things considered. Simon Diamond beat Chad. El Generico beat York, and La Parca beat Cody Rhodes. And again, another big attendance. I don't know why, but it's a lot of attendance. Which makes me wonder, is it because of, prestige? No, its importance is the same. Slammiversary. I don't think these pay-per-views have been around enough for their importance to have changed in any meaningful way. They're no normal, 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 normal. Yeah, none of them. Although this is 76, this might be the closest to being above that. I don't actually know. But I digress. As of right now, we could be doing fine. It all depends on how the pay-per-view does. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go book the pay-per-view, and I'll be back to go over it with you in just a little bit. You know, sometimes Christmas does come a bit early. I would like to show you for once. That's not what I want to show you. I would like for 1 second to show you what we've done together. We've done this together. This is a combined effort. If you look, the last 2 months, they've lost $630,000. Why? Well, for some reason, their ticket sales died. It's gone. they had no ticket sales. Why? I don't know. If I pop back here, they were in the Southwest. Hold on, is that July? What the hell was going on here? Because they were doing something. They were in Mid-South. They're in the Northwest. Oh, so they started doing other places? And that didn't do well because they're not selling as many tickets. Because they're trying to branch out, go other places, which can't really blame them. However, there's a problem. I don't know how this came about, but they just lost all of their TV. All of their TV is gone. They have no TV now. They were with Sinclair, and they had Sinclair, Tri-State, New England, Mid-South, Great Lakes, Northwest, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Southeast. The only one they didn't lose was Southwest. So they're still on TV there. Where's coverage? This is one of the few times where I'd like to see events and TV. Broadcasting deals. Yeah, they're on 2 channels in the daytime. And that's it. That's it. They're down to 2. They're not doing well. They just lost a lot. So, I take that as a badge of honor because I feel like I had game impact here. Which was, killing them. That was my goal. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go take a look here. Can I do any more damage? No. You're so lucky that I can't. I'm good with you, Kip Montana. I tried. I really tried with him. They were willing to let him go. But yeah, I just saw that. It's on the day of the pay-per-view, and I just see lose a slot. It covered a lot here. We also got some mail. Oh no. People keep offering Dwayne a thing, but he never leaves. He never accepts anybody else, which makes me happy. Because, God forbid, I have to compete with people. He still doesn't want to negotiate with me, because I'm too small, but he is negotiating with other people, including Jersey All-Pro. How in the hell are they medium? Okay. I have an idea. I have a plan. Plan. It's not necessarily a new plan. It's a plan you've seen before. In fact, you can see how well it's working over here. But that'll be something for another time. If they sign The Rock. If they don't sign The Rock, I will not bankrupt their company slowly over the course of time. What was this? Oh, there are only 30 days left of Briscoe's contract. Yeah, this is exactly why I hate freelancers. I hate them. There's no point in having them. They take up roster space and then they leave. But that's me ranting a little more. I'm gonna go book the show. I'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, everybody, here we are, TNA Slamniversary 2007, held in front of 2,500 people. That's 400 people more than the previous month. So we are steadily increasing our attendance levels, which is a good sign, I suppose. Not as high as I would have liked. I would have liked 47. Get one more dollar out of each one of those people. Charlie Haas and Russ Haas start off the night in a first blood match that Russ Haas wins, busting open his brother, a 57 segment rating. Following the match, Russ Haas grabs a chair or a weapon of some kind and just beats on Charlie Haas for a while until security forces him to leave, leaving Charlie Haas alone, battered, bloodied, bruised in the ring. We then follow that up with Mitsuharu Misawa taking on Hayabusa and winning, beating him in just a hair under 20 minutes, a segment rating of 50. We then followed up with a promo between Hiro and Steve Corino, where a hardcore match begins, or a wild brawl, I suppose. A 58 segment rating, and Steve Corino wins this match. We then follow that up with a promo between Maven and AJ Styles before their tag team match. With the tag team titles needing to be defended, Jeff Jarrett went ahead and announced this match earlier on in the night through Mike Tenay, Don West, and Jim Cornette at the announce table. No prior build up to it. It's like, no, they have to wrestle, and AJ Styles has requested a match tonight. He's going to fight with Maven, who's also requested a title shot for the tag team titles, and AJ Styles and Maven win the tag team titles, beating the Brain Busters and getting a 55 segment rating. AJ Styles was way better than anybody else. Tomko was real far down there, but Lance Cade is actually doing pretty good for himself. Maven's down there, but now he's a tag team champion, so hopefully he's not that fucking mad anymore. But I digress. We then followed up with another X Division Championship match. Jarrett also said Cross deserved a singles competition for his rematch. Bam, Batista wins anyway, and solidifies that he's the title guy. Samoa Joe is pissed in the back. We then cut to 60-minute Iron Man match between CM Punk and John Cena that ends in a 0-0 draw. Second Iron Man match within about 4 months for CM Punk. He is dog tired. 66, a good match. 49 segment rating. After it's declared 0-0, Punk has retained. Dwayne Johnson comes down from the back and has the match restarted. At which point, John Cena, bang, hits an attitude adjustment after The Rock. Or first, The Rock comes into the ring. CM Punk's got the title. Rock bottom. Cena, and he says this match beat is restarted. Cena crawls over, trying to pin him, and CM Punk kicks out. They get back up to their feet. Punk is fighting. He goes for the GTS. Cena reverses it into the AA, or FU, whatever you want to call it, and wins the match. Wins the World Heavyweight title. And at the end of the night, John Cena joins the Rock's vision. And that is how the show ends. At 63. Not as high as I would have liked, but that's fine. We want to keep AJ happy always. CM Punk and... Oh, never mind. He wasn't used on the show. Dwayne. No, Dwayne's already happy. John? John. We'll go with John Cena. Financial. Ah, that's a happy number right there. I'm happy about that. $40,000 flat on the tickets. Hell yeah. There we go. Finally got the 47 on that. We got... Oh my god, Hawaii went up 1. I can't believe it. 21 for Puerto Rico, 29 for Southwest, 23 for Northwest, and Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South are both at 31. Hell yes. That went very, very well. I am very happy with how that went. That was a good show, all things considered. It wasn't one of the best. It was not bound for glory. Triple H has won the World Heavyweight title again. His 8th reign with the belt. Anybody getting fired? Low Key got hurt. Not on my show. Low Key is the center of a crazy story today with reports he was injured last night in a freak accident involving a gerbil. He broke his ribs. Did the gerbil hit you with a shooting star? Yeah, Low Key is hurt. Buy rate, $175,000 buy rate. Holy Christ. That's pretty good. That is very nice. Almost. Less than $1,000, or just over $1,000 separated Bound for Glory and Slammiversary. Ticket sales are already immensely higher. Jesus. Broadcast revenue, there's still 2 more shows to go, and that's still doing pretty good. Sponsors are alright. Merchandise is going to be high, hopefully. Cena is now the new champ. How did that... let's look at popularity. 63 for Styles. Holly's still in the 60s. Punk is at 66 and it's still kind of hanging around in the 60s. Cena? Oh, Cena's at a 70. That's the homegrown talent right there. That's what I wanted to see. How's Dwayne looking? Dwayne's looking phenomenal. I don't think his popularity has changed at all. No, it hasn't. That's fine. I'm afraid to use him in any capacity where he can lose popularity, because that's my lifeline. He loses anything here, I die. Like, it's game over. I will not be around anymore. That said, I'm very happy about Cena. Him being at 70 means that what we're doing is working. Is there anybody else I want to look at? Samoa Joe. Alright, he's doing pretty good, all things considered. Everywhere else he's kind of lacking, but in America he's doing alright. Lance Cade, he's in the 40s. He's probably about a mid-card guy, but he's doing alright. Steve Corino, he's doing alright. Tiger Mask? Tiger Mask is doing fine. Russ Haas is doing alright. Charlie, where's Charlie Haas? Ugh, Charlie Haas is not doing great. Bautista, he's doing alright. Alright. Maven got a win. Are you still mad? You're still angry. You just won the title. That didn't even matter to you. Okay, fine. Alright. Very prestigious. Okay. I wonder if that's gonna be a thing. I don't know if that just happened or if that happened as a result of the show. But we are now very prestigious. I hope that does well. I hope that increases what we get. We are now at this point, I think. I guess I could show you since we're here. Oh god, it's Honky Tonk Man. Get him off my screen. 800 fans is what we're supposed to get. Finalized broadcasters, that'll be YouTube. Booking team meeting, huzzah. Locker room incidents. She shows up, just wants to hang out. Sure, I got no problem with that. None of this really matters to me. Alright, and then... stop it. There we go. Now we go to Auto Booker. No title matches. Do the whole show. Bam. No storylines are advancing. Is anything being used that could... I guess technically this right here, this is essentially what I do, because that's the same thing for all of them, is there's no storyline being advanced. Okay, well then I'll advance one manually if someone's being used. And luckily Hayabusa is, so that'll advance, even though he's not taking on Mitsuhara Misawa. So then we go through the show. None of these stats really matter. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things to me. Tomko loses the Chad Collier. Christian York beat Monty Brown. They have good chemistry. Hayabusa beat Nigel McGuinness. Pretty good match. Sean Stasiak did a promo. Maven did a promo. Maven beat Jimmy Rave. And then Jason Cross beat Sean Stasiak. Okay. Popularity went up in 46 regions. Probably not America. We made $6,000. Oh, okay. I wasn't prepared for that. Popularity, none in America. Oh my god, Canada. Thank you. And that's essentially how that goes. I don't do anything for those shows. That's probably why those are making money. No. Oh, thank God you're. Why do people? He hasn't signed with anybody. Does he just tell them no? Like, what's going on here? I am very concerned. Yeah, Briscoes. Can't wait for you guys to leave. $17,000. 17,000 people watching those shows. We are now sitting at $119,000 of money. We've broken 100,000 ticket sales for the first time ever. Broadcast revenue doesn't gain anything from that because technically it's not being broadcast on it's not being broadcast on TV. It's being broadcast on the interwebs. But I digress. I'm going to go ahead and pause the show, or pause the recording, and I'll meet back up with you when I'm done booking Explosion number 32. Alright, here we are. TNA Explosion number 32, held in front of 758 people in the Southeast. We start off with a Vision promo, only with the three of them that matter. But X-Division Champion Batista, World Heavyweight Champion John Cena, and Dwayne Johnson. The Rock is crowing about it. He's like, look at who I have. I have the Doctor of Thugonomics, who the people have sided with for so long. Now he is come over to what I foresee in this company, what I want out of this company, and he's a winner. He can carry the company. He's the one who you have all come out and bought the merchandise for. You're the ones that he's all, he's just gloating about it overall. Finally, after about 5 or 6 minutes, John Cena starts to talk, and shortly after, out comes CM Punk, running down all three of them. Jeff Jarrett comes out and says that Punk is entitled to his rematch clause. Cena versus Punk one more time at the next pay-per-view. We then followed up with Steve Corino coming out after Jarrett says, and Batista, everybody needs to leave the ring, except you, Batista, you have a match right now. And Steve Corino comes out following his victory over Chris Hero, and especially in that feud. He has a non-title opportunity, and he performs pretty well, and gets a pretty good segment rating out of it, so we might be doing something more with Steve Corino in the future. We then cut to the back where CM Punk talks about what he wants from John Cena. He said, I've gone the distance with you, and had it not been for The Rock, I'd still be the champion. So when we have our match, it's going to be me versus you in a steel cage. He then goes out and has a match against Lance Cade and beats him, almost crippling him. 73 wrestling rating, 64 segment rating. We then follow that up with a tag team promo between AJ Styles and Maven. Totally not doing this to try and make Maven happy. They then go out and have an match. And we get a 63. Nobody's happy about it. God damn it. Fuck. Alright. We lost $3,300. Alright. There's literally nothing of use from that show. Wonderful. That's everything I wanted and more. Alright. Christian York lost some weight. 152,000 people tuned in to watch the show. That's probably a new personal best, viewer-wise, for the weekly shows. Definitely. Yep, that's number 3. Almost beat out Unbreakable. And Slammiversary is pretty close to Bound for Glory. Despite not being anywhere near in terms of quality. So, we are 12 points away from getting up to medium. Although Mid-Atlantic and Mid-South are almost there. If we look at finances, we're sitting at about $113,000 in the black. We have made almost double our ticket sales. Broadcast revenue is doing pretty good. We still got one more show to go. Merch is doing all right. We'll see how that goes a little bit forward, and sponsorship is a little bit behind, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and do the last show for the month, and I'll see you after that. All right, and here we are, final show of the month of August, number 33. We start with a promo between Dwayne and Cena, putting over the Vision, putting over Cena, putting over The Rock, saying that, yeah, you know, you're going to be in a steel cage match with CM Punk, but I will be at ringside, I will be your manager, I will be in your corner. And then we move on to Bob Holly killing Cody Rhodes live on camera for everybody to see. 54 segment rating. We then follow it up with Steve Corino versus Jimmy Rave, which Steve Corino wins with a 47 segment rating. Following that up, CM Punk comes out, starts cutting a promo. Nigel McGuinness comes out, sucks on the promo skills. Really tanked it. Then they went out and had a pretty good match, all things considered. CM Punk wins. Nigel McGuinness really showcasing it's like Punk is a phenomenal talent. So is Nigel McGuinness, but there's very clear differences in terms of like what Punk can do, what Nigel can do. Nigel's a great in-ring guy, but he can't talk. So it's like, yeah, you know, he gets out on the microphone, he's not great, but you put him in the ring, especially with a guy like Punk, a guy like Cena, and they can have good matches, good segments, and they can go on for a while. We then follow that up with another Styles Maven promo and the Tag Team Championship match number 2. That's right, Styles, the patented guy for the Open Challenge X Division matches, now is in charge of the Open Challenge Tag Team matches. Ended with a 54. God damn. 5,000 minus nothing to gain there. Oh, I need to be a little bit more smart with how I plot out those shows, because I'm no longer at the point where I can just kind of skate by with that anymore. 150,000, 140,000. Fergal Devitt wants to come up. That was from last time, but I suppose that's just how it's gonna be. Yeah. So about $111,000. Merchandise easily got beat. Holy Christ. Sponsors got beat. Broadcast revenue is really high. Ticket sales are really high. Pay-per-view revenue is great. This is a really good month, all things considered, even though we spent so much money on workers compared to last month. We're just at the end, so I'm going to go ahead and end the current month. I think it's just a day or two. So I think so far the experiment is kind of working. All things considered, we're making money off of those shows, which is probably the best thing that those shows can possibly do. Along with that, congratulations, Rick Steiner. Along with that, no, he keeps trying to leave. I keep telling him no. We finished first out of 5. There's a 5th guy now. We made $86,000. We spent a ton of money on production, a ton of money on workers, a ton of money on shows, a lot of stuff here. But all in all, I think the experiment is working as intended. Where's weekly event? Yeah, we're doing all right. I think we'll be fine as we continue and go along. So with that having been said, Cena actually broke $10,000 on the merchandise. Rock broke $235. We broke 50% on that. So within about God, I gotta do math real quick. 24 weeks, 6 more months, we'll be done with this. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show here. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye-bye.